You're listening to Inside Insight, the podcast that dives into the latest innovations and strategies in manufacturing, distribution, and Dynamics 365 Business Central. Brought to you by InsightWorks, this show features our hosts, Ryan and Emma, as they bring you expert conversations, industry insights, and practical advice to help you stay ahead in this constantly evolving world.
All right, so today we're going to be looking at Dynamic Ship. It's a shipping solution. It's been generating some buzz, especially I think in the SMB world.
Yeah.
And, I guess the mission for us today is to figure out, if it really lives up to the hype.
Right.
Is it something that, could really help your business? And, Dynamic Ship is all about trying to make shipping easier for SMBs.
Yeah.
All within the, Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central environment.
Yeah, and, it's really addressing, I think, a pain point for a lot of SMBs out there. I mean, think about it. Like, you're juggling all these different carrier websites.
Right.
Manually putting in all this data, worried about all these costs, errors.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's a lot to manage.
Yeah.
And, that can really impact efficiency and customer satisfaction.
Yeah, I can see how that'd be a constant headache.
Oh, yeah.
So is Dynamic Ship kind of aiming to be that one-stop shop to kind of take that all away?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, instead of jumping between all these different websites, you can compare rates from hundreds of carriers.
Wow.
Parcel, LTL, even FTL, all within Business Central.
Right.
So think about all the time you'd save.
Oh, yeah.
Just right there.
Yeah, time is money for a small business.
Absolutely.
Now, one of the things that jumped out to me is this whole thing with the branded tracking pages.
Yeah.
I mean, is that really something that SMBs need to be worrying about?
Well, it's all about creating like a more professional experience for your customers.
Right.
And just having this consistent experience.
Right.
When they're tracking their package, they see your logo, your colors, your messaging.
Yeah.
It just reinforces the brand
Right.
and elevates the whole customer experience.
Okay, I could see the value in that,
Mhm.
especially for e-commerce businesses. It's those little touches
Right, exactly.
that can make a difference. Now, you mentioned handheld scanning.
Yeah.
I mentioned that's a big deal for warehouse operations.
Yeah, it really streamlines everything.
Okay.
The staff, they can scan packages, eliminate, manually entering all that data. So that means fewer errors, faster fulfillment.
So less room for, those oops moments that can really slow things down.
Exactly.
Now, what about businesses that handle, a mix of small and large shipments?
Yeah.
Can Dynamic Ship handle those different needs?
Absolutely. It supports both FTL and LTL shipments.
Okay.
So, imagine a small furniture business. They could use Dynamic Ship for everything from, shipping a single chair to a customer across town,
Right.
to managing, a full truckload for a large order that's going across the country.
So that kind of flexibility is really key for, SMBs that are growing, their needs are changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now, we've talked about efficiency, the customer experience, but what about the data side of things?
Yeah.
I mean, does Dynamic Ship provide any insights into how well shipping's performing?
It does, and this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
It's called the Dynamic Ship Analysis app, and it gives you this deep dive into your shipping data.
Oh, wow.
You can track costs, carrier performance. You can even identify trends.
Oh, wow.
It can help you optimize your entire shipping strategy.
So you're not just, managing shipments.
Right.
You're understanding them and using that to make better decisions.
Exactly. It gives you that power to make smarter choices.
Yeah.
About everything.
Right.
From your carrier selection to your packaging, even to your overall logistics.
So it's not just getting it from point A to point B.
Right.
It's doing it the smartest way possible.
Exactly. And that's where the real value is.
Now, all this sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
But let's get specific.
Okay.
How does Dynamic Ship actually impact different roles within an SMB?
Okay, so let's start with the warehouse manager. They're all about efficiency,
Yeah.
accuracy.
Right.
Dynamic Ship, with its scanning and streamlined processes, helps them minimize errors, reduce all that manual work, and speed up order fulfillment.
Right.
So imagine their relief when they see fewer shipping errors.
Yeah.
Their team's more productive.
That makes sense. I mean, a more efficient warehouse, that's going to mean happier employees
Right.
and, faster delivery for customers.
Exactly.
What about someone in a more customer-facing role, like, say, an e-commerce manager?
Yeah, for them, it's all about, creating that wow factor,
Yeah.
building customer loyalty.
Okay.
And those branded tracking pages can really make a difference there. The customer can track their package. They see that consistent brand experience
Yeah.
from start to finish.
It's all about those little details that can elevate the customer journey.
Exactly.
I bet it cuts down on all those "where's my package" inquiries
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
What about the people responsible for actually, getting the packages out the door?
Right. So for shipping coordinators,
Yeah.
Dynamic Ship takes away the guesswork. I mean, with the real-time rate comparisons,
Yeah.
they can easily find the most cost-effective option for
Right.
each shipment,
Okay.
saving the business money, making sure packages are sent the most efficient way possible.
So they're not spending hours jumping between websites, comparing rates.
Right.
They got it all right there.
Exactly.
Huge time saver.
Right.
What about the people who look at the bigger picture?
Yeah.
The supply chain analysts, the operations managers?
Right. So it gives them the data they need to make those strategic decisions.
Yeah.
With Dynamic Ship's analytics, they can analyze shipping costs, carrier performance, and overall efficiency.
Uh-huh.
And they can use that to optimize, the whole supply chain,
Yeah.
which can save the business money in the long run.
It's like having this powerful tool that shows them everything that's going on with their shipping.
Exactly.
And then we can't forget about customer service, right?
Right. They're often the ones dealing with all the shipping questions.
Yeah.
And so with Dynamic Ship, they have, that real-time tracking information.
Right.
So they can provide customers with accurate updates and resolve issues quickly.
So every team that's involved in shipping
Right.
benefits in some way.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good case
Yeah.
for how it could impact an SMB.
It's about streamlining, reducing costs, and ultimately creating a better experience for
Yeah.
everybody.
Now, I'm curious about real world results, though. Can you
Yeah.
give us some examples of how Dynamic Ship is actually making a difference out there?
Absolutely. So let's start with customer satisfaction, a common challenge
Yeah.
for many businesses.
Right.
Imagine an e-commerce company and they're struggling with all these "where's my package" inquiries.
Right.
It's frustrating for customers.
Oh, yeah.
Puts a strain on the customer service team.
Yeah.
But by implementing Dynamic Ship, they can provide customers those branded tracking pages, real-time updates,
Right.
and drastically reduce those inquiries,
Makes sense.
leading to happier customers
Yeah.
and a less stressed team.
So that's a clear example of how it can directly impact the customer experience.
Yeah.
But what about the bottom line?
Yeah.
Does it actually help businesses save money?
It can. So imagine a manufacturing company that ships, a high volume of products every day.
Okay.
They're using multiple carriers.
Yeah.
They're constantly looking for the best rates.
Right.
Dynamic Ship's real-time rate shopping lets them instantly compare all those rates from numerous carriers. And so they always choose the most cost-effective option.
Okay.
So over time, those savings add up,
Okay.
freeing up resources for other areas of business.
That's music to any business owner's ears.
Absolutely.
So we've got happier customers,
Yeah.
potential cost savings,
Yep.
streamlined operations.
Mm-hmm.
But let's step back for a second
Okay.
and think about the future.
Right.
I mean, the shipping landscape, it's always changing.
It is.
How does Dynamic Ship fit into that?
Right.
Can it adapt?
Yeah, that's a key question.
Yeah.
And the answer is yes.
Okay.
It's designed to be, future-proof.
Okay.
It integrates with a vast network of carriers, both the established ones and the emerging ones.
Oh.
So businesses can adapt to these changing shipping options and really stay ahead of the curve.
So it's not just about today's problems. It's about being ready for what comes next.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about providing them with this flexible, adaptable solution
Right.
that can grow with them.
Okay. That's reassuring for businesses,
Right.
that want to invest in something long term.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about the data aspect, right?
Yeah.
How does Dynamic Ship's focus on analytics help prepare for the future?
Well, data is becoming so crucial in shipping.
Yeah.
And Dynamic Ship's analytics are really key to its adaptability.
Okay.
It gives businesses those insights into their shipping performance
Right.
so they can make those data-driven decisions
Mm-hmm.
and adjust their strategies as needed.
Yeah.
So as that shipping landscape evolves, they can use these insights to optimize their operations,
Right.
stay competitive.
So it's not just about having the data, it's about understanding it
Exactly.
and using it strategically,
Right.
which is a huge advantage.
Yeah. It is. It's about giving them the tools they need to thrive.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
And, we're really talking about how it bridges that gap between, operational efficiency and customer experience.
Oh,
And in the last part, we were talking about, those back-end improvements and how they can really affect how a customer sees a business.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear a little more about that connection.
Yeah, it's all about, understanding that efficiency isn't just this internal metric,
Okay.
right? So take real-time rate shopping, for example.
Yeah.
It helps the business, find the most cost-effective option.
Right.
But that efficiency can also translate into faster delivery times, maybe even lower shipping costs for the customer.
So those behind-the-scenes improvements
Right.
can actually ripple out and shape the customer experience.
Exactly. And, it's not just about cost and speed, it's
Sure.
about transparency.
Right.
So features like, the branded tracking pages, real-time updates, all that stuff gives customers a clear view of where their package is,
Okay.
when to expect it. It reduces that anxiety,
Yeah.
builds trust.
That makes sense. I mean, in the world of, online shopping, people really want to feel in control.
Yeah,
And they want to know what's going on with their order.
absolutely.
It sounds like Dynamic Ship gives businesses a way to provide that.
It does. It gives them the tools they need to, meet those expectations.
Okay.
Create that positive experience.
Now, let's talk about the people who are actually using Dynamic Ship
Yeah.
day to day. I mean, we
Yeah.
talked about how it benefits different roles, but what about employee satisfaction?
That's a great point.
I mean, we always talk about the customer,
right.
but happy employees are just as important.
Oh, they're essential.
Yeah.
And I think Dynamic Ship can really, boost employee morale.
Okay.
I mean, it streamlines processes, it gets rid of all those manual tasks,
Right.
gives everyone access to that real-time information, and that can make them feel more efficient, more productive.
It's about giving them the tools to do their job well
Exactly.
and, feel good about their work.
And when your employees are happier, they're more engaged,
Yeah.
and they tend to deliver better customer service.
Makes sense. It's a win-win.
Absolutely.
Now, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about sustainability.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big concern
It is.
for a lot of businesses these days.
Yeah.
How can Dynamic Ship help them reduce their impact?
Well, there's a few ways. First, by optimizing shipping routes
Yeah.
and reducing the number of shipments,
Wow.
that cuts down on fuel consumption and emissions.
So less fuel burned, smaller carbon footprint.
Exactly.
What else can they do?
Well, it can also help them make smarter decisions about packaging
Okay.
and materials. With the data and analytics it provides, they can identify, opportunities to use more sustainable options.
Yeah.
Consolidate shipments,
Okay.
reduce the amount of packaging materials.
So it's about giving them that information
Right.
to make better decisions.
Exactly.
I like that. And speaking of choices,
Yeah.
what about the carriers themselves?
Yeah.
I mean, are there any sustainability considerations when choosing a carrier?
There are, and that's another area where Dynamic Ship can help by giving you access to, a wide range of carriers, including ones that really prioritize sustainability. It allows them to choose carriers that, match their values.
So it's about giving them the flexibility
Right.
to make those choices that, reflect their commitment
Absolutely.
to being green.
And that same flexibility applies to scalability.
Okay, great segue.
Yeah,
I mean, scalability is crucial.
it is.
For any business that's, growing and evolving,
Yeah.
how does Dynamic Ship adapt to meet those needs?
Well, it's designed to grow with the business.
Okay.
So whether they're shipping, a few packages a day or thousands,
Yeah.
Dynamic Ship can handle it.
So it's not just for small businesses.
Right.
It can scale to those larger, more complex operations.
Exactly. As they grow, they can just add more users, features, integrations.
Right.
It's very flexible.
So it's adaptable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could support them at every stage.
Now, scalability isn't just about volume, though, right?
Right.
It's also about adapting to new markets, new products.
Yeah, new challenges.
All that.
Absolutely.
Can Dynamic Ship help them navigate all that?
It can, and that's where its integration with that vast network of carriers comes in again.
Okay.
As businesses expand, into new markets, launch
Okay.
new products,
Right.
they can easily access the carriers'
Yeah.
services they need all through Dynamic Ship.
Right.
It's like this single platform
Right.
for managing all their needs.
Yeah. That streamlined management, it's essential, in a global market
Absolutely.
where things are always changing.
Right.
Businesses need to be agile.
They do.
And it sounds like Dynamic Ship provides the tools to do that.
It does.
But data plays a role in scalability too, right?
Yeah.
How does Dynamic Ship's focus on analytics, contribute to its scalability?
Well, data is key to making those smart decisions
That's
about
fine.
scaling effectively.
Right.
Dynamic Ship gives them those insights to, identify growth opportunities, optimize strategies, make those data-driven decisions about expansion.
So it's not just about keeping up with the growth.
Right.
It's about making sure that growth is sustainable and strategic.
Exactly. It's about giving them the visibility and the data to scale intelligently.
Okay. Now, all this talk about data brings up another big one.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, businesses today, they got to protect that sensitive information.
Absolutely.
So how does Dynamic Ship address that?
Security is a top priority for Dynamic Ship.
Yep.
It's built with, these robust security features to safeguard data. It follows industry best practices, for security and compliance, like encryption, access controls, security audits.
So it's not just about protecting the data while it's moving around.
Right.
It's about making sure the platform itself is secure.
Yeah, and it goes beyond just technology.
Okay.
It's also about, fostering a culture of security.
Right.
And Dynamic Ship does that by giving users, secure access, enforcing strong passwords, two-factor authentication.
Yeah.
They even offer training resources
wow.
to help educate users on best practices.
So it's a multi-layered approach.
Yeah.
Combining that technology with human awareness.
Yeah.
Which is good. Now, we've talked about Dynamic Ship's integration with Business Central.
Yeah.
But I want to dig into that a little deeper.
Okay.
I mean, what are the benefits beyond just, having everything in one place?
Right. Well, the integration, it offers more than just convenience.
Yeah.
It's about, this seamless flow of information between the two.
Right.
So that means no more manual data entry, fewer errors, and just a more complete view of your operations.
It's about creating, that unified ecosystem where all that data can move around freely.
Right.
Be used to make better decisions.
Exactly.
Can you give us some specific examples of how that integration, plays out in the real world?
Sure. So think about, when an order is placed in Business Central, that shipping information, it automatically goes to Dynamic Ship.
Yeah.
Generates the labels, tracks the shipment, and updates the order status.
Right
back in Business Central.
Okay.
So no one has to, manually re-enter all that.
Yeah.
Less risk of errors.
Right.
Really streamlines the whole thing.
So that's a great example of how, integration leads to more efficiency.
Yeah.
What other benefits are there?
Well, think about visibility. Having all that data in Business Central gives you that holistic understanding of your operations.
Yeah.
You can track shipping costs, analyze carrier performance, really pinpoint those areas for improvement.
And all within the same system.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like having that one-stop shop for everything related to shipping and operations.
It is. It's about giving them, that information to make better decisions, optimize their whole operation.
And that's really at the heart of what Dynamic Ship is all about. So we've covered a lot in this part of our deep dive into Dynamic Ship.
Yeah.
We've talked about, how it connects efficiency and customer experience, its impact on employees, sustainability, how it scales.
Yeah.
We also explored cybersecurity and the integration with Business Central.
We did.
And I think we've seen that Dynamic Ship. It's not just about, shipping packages.
Right.
It's a strategic tool.
It is.
To help businesses improve operations, cut costs, make customers happy.
Absolutely.
And gain an edge in the market.
That's right.
I think we should address something that I know is often a concern for businesses.
Yeah.
When they're thinking about, new technology, and that's implementation.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing in new software, it can seem daunting.
It can.
So let's unpack what that process actually looks like with Dynamic Ship.
Okay, yeah, it's a valid concern, but, with Dynamic Ship, the process is designed to be pretty straightforward.
Okay.
InsightWorks, the company behind Dynamic Ship,
they
have a very thorough implementation process that covers, everything from that initial planning and setup to training your team, providing ongoing support.
So businesses aren't just left to, figure it out on their own.
Right, exactly.
They have some guidance.
They have a team of experts.
Okay, good.
That work closely with each business to understand, their specific needs.
Right.
Configure the solution. Make sure that transition is smooth.
Okay, that's reassuring. But what about, the timeline?
Yeah.
How long do a typical implementation take?
Well, it really depends, on the complexity of the business's needs. how much, customization is required.
Right.
But typically it can take, anywhere from a few weeks to a couple of months.
So it's not an overnight thing.
Right.
But it's also not, going to take a year.
No.
Which feels manageable.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the people, right?
Okay.
Change can be challenging.
It can.
So how does InsightWorks, handle that training and adoption piece?
Well, they have comprehensive training programs
Okay.
to make sure that everyone's comfortable using dynamic ship,
Right.
make the most of all the features.
Yeah.
And these programs, they can be tailored to different roles and skill levels.
So it's not just about installing the software.
Right.
It's about giving those employees the skills
Exactly.
to use it.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about after that initial setup? What kind of ongoing support can businesses expect?
Well, they provide, ongoing support to help them really get the most out of it.
Okay.
So that includes things like, technical support,
Yeah.
software updates, access to a knowledge base. They even have an online community.
So it's like a safety net. Right.
Right.
They have resources to turn to if they run into any issues.
Exactly.
I like that. But let's step back for a second, right?
Okay.
And just reiterate a key point.
Yeah.
I mean, dynamic ship, it's not just a piece of software.
Right.
It's an investment.
It's a strategic investment.
It's a tool that can really, transform how a business operates.
Absolutely.
Help them, be more efficient, cut costs.
Yeah.
Keep their customers happy.
Yeah.
Give them an edge.
Exactly.
And I think that's a really powerful message.
Yeah.
For our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about, shipping packages.
Right.
It's about empowering these businesses to thrive.
Yep.
And, we've really explored dynamic ship, haven't we?
We have.
From those features, and how to implement it to its long-term potential.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully you now have a much clearer picture
That's so.
of how it could impact your business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the, shipping and logistics landscape, it's constantly changing.
Oh, it is. Always evolving.
But with tools like dynamic ship, businesses can not only keep up,
Yeah.
but they can stay ahead.
Yeah. That's the key.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into dynamic ship.
You're welcome.
We'll be back soon with another episode, exploring, more innovative solutions and ideas that are shaping the business world.